Hello and welcome, Future Knights, class of 2025. I am Mrs. Robertson and I am your school counselor if your last name starts with A through D-E-L.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Horton and I will be your counselor if your last name starts with D-E-M through K.
Hi, my name is Deanna Ainsworth and I have students with the last names L through R-I-L.
Hi, I'm Sarah Skemp, and I have students with the last names R-I-M through Z. And we're here today to talk about life at the high school, at Lake Havasu High School, and to get you set for your classes for next year. So Ms. Horton, you want to talk about Google Classroom?
We will be picking your electives, and we're going to show you how to do that on Google Classroom. So you have been invited to a PLP pre-registration Google Classroom. When you open it up, this stream shows you everything that's been uploaded, but you're going to click on the classwork tab here at the top. You're going to be looking under 8th grade pre-registration. Ignore this part at the bottom. That is not for you. So here you will find the elective request information. This is the sheet that we're going to walk you through how to fill it out. And then there's also some information about counselors, short order forms, auditions, and things like that that we'll go more into. So let's first look at our elective requests. This is an assignment that you will need to complete. So I'm going to pull up our sample here. You will have a blank form. This is our sample that we're going to walk through how you fill out. And it's important that you choose your electives wisely. Okay, your electives aren't just for credit, but they're a way to explore different career pathways, explore different skills, learn a new skill. So really think about what do you want to take, not just what classes your friend signed up for.
So filling out this sheet, you're going to start by putting your name and then your student ID. Some of you might know that as your lunch ID number. Now we're going to go through these courses to remind you what there are, just so you have a memory relapse. You'll be like, what was that about? So we'll go through that with you. So at Lake Havasu High School, we are based on semesters, not quarters. So semester 1 is from August through December, and semester 2 is January through May. Some of our classes are year-long, and you'll see those on the left-hand side of the sheet. And some of our classes we offer for only one semester. They could be either semester 1 or semester 2, and we do have a couple that are very specific for semester 2, and we'll review that with you. So I'm going to start with the year-long classes and talk to you about that. So Spanish 1-2. That 1 means it's one semester, first semester, 2 means second semester, so you know it's a year-long. Spanish, it's a foreign language that we offer. It is not a required class, but it is something you might want to consider for a university or even work experience. The next one is Intro to Early Childhood. This one is working with the Little Knights preschool. For this, you do have an application. We'll go into details about that. And there's also, you have to take a TB test. That test is where you get a little mark on your arm and they check if you have tuberculosis. And it's not that scary. It's worth doing it, and you won't need that until the first day of the school. Next, we have Intro to Fashion Design. That's where you're sewing and designing clothes. Intro to Software and App Design. That's where you're coding, programming. If you like video games, that's probably, and you're interested in maybe a career in that, probably want to take that class. Please note, you have to have a C or better in your math, algebra, or your math 8. Intro to Graphic Design, that's our traditional art class, so you're drawing and painting, but they also do digital communications or graphics in that class. Intro to Digital Communications, that's where you are learning about the fields of journalism, broadcasting, or yearbook. If you're interested in pursuing in that area in our school, you would start with the Intro to Digital Communications. Please note that you need a C or better in your English, and there's a lot of writing involved in this class. Intro to Engineering Sciences, Engineering is where you're learning how to build things. So they go over the different engineering kinds of classes, such as chemical, mechanical. And then this one, you also must be enrolled in geometry. So this would be for students who are currently passing their Algebra 1, 2 in 8th grade. The next one is Fundamentals of Law and Public Safety. This is the one if you're interested in law enforcement, the judicial system. You might want to think about this if you just want to know more about the law enforcement, not just becoming a police officer. And then we're going to have Ms. Ainsworth talk about the next few.
All right, up next we have the CTE Stagecraft 1-2. This is our technical theater class where you'll be working with costumes, props, lighting, stage design. After that, we have acting 1-2. So again, you're learning about acting and the different techniques involved. CTE Stagecraft for musical productions. This course is our musical theater class, and an audition is required, and we'll have more information about those auditions later up. Intro to Music and Audio. This is where you'll learn about the music and audio, whether it's in videos or just the music itself. So working on that and editing those types of videos and the audio portion. Color Guard is part of our marching band, so you do have to be part of the 7 a.m. marching band class. And this is where you'll work with the flags and batons. Percussion 1-2, that's also with our marching band. Again, you would have to do the 7 a.m. band class. And also this is for our drummers. Wind ensemble is separate from our marching band completely. It's more of our intermediate to advanced concert band. If you're interested in singing, we have concert choir. That's our introduction choir class. If you are an athlete, Intro to Sports Fitness, this is conditioning for our LHHS athletes. So you will need coach approval to join this class. Keep in mind, everyone will have freshman PE. So if you select this one, this will be your second PE class. So that concludes all of our year-long courses. Next, we have our semester courses. So the first semester class, we have auto maintenance. So if you're interested in cars and maintenance on those vehicles, this is a great first class to take. CTE Fundamentals for Cabinet Making. You'll learn the industry of construction, hand tools, power tools, all that fun stuff. CTE Fundamentals of Business Management. So you're looking at learning about small and large businesses, working with Microsoft Offices like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Keep in mind, you will have to do a presentation in this class. So if you're afraid of getting in front of your class or speaking, take it. It's a great way to kind of break that fear. If you do have the fear, don't worry, your teacher will work with you on that. CTE Nutrition and Wellness for Life. This is a class that leads into our culinary courses as a sophomore, but nutrition and wellness, basically what does it take to be healthy, whether you're eating or exercising. World Geography. This is where you're learning the geography of our different countries and learning different cultures as well. I've touched on Marching Band of Nights already, but again, this is a 1 semester, it's in the first semester at 7 a.m. Intro to Band or Orchestra. So if you're interested, if you have no experience in music or band, but you want to learn to play an instrument, we do have Intro to Band and Orchestra second semester that you can take. In addition, we have an Introduction to Guitar. So if you are interested in learning the acoustic guitar, we do have a class for you to take. So next up, we're going to talk about our counselor information on the next slide. Or are we going to jump into our example?
Let's go into how you're going to fill out
How
this
to complete it. Okay.
So we talked about year-long classes. We talked about semester classes. And you're going to want to pay attention to that when you're choosing your different classes. So for example, you want to choose your top 4 choices. So you're only going to have 2 elective classes. You're going to have your 4 core classes and 2 electives. So we have 4 choices on here. So why do we do that? We want to know what your top 2 choices are, but then we also need to know some backups because we might have more students requesting a class than we can actually fit in there. So for example, if your first choice is Spanish, which is a great option for anybody, especially if you're planning on going to college, your first choice is Spanish and it's a year-long class. So you'll want to put it in both your first semester and second semester of that first choice because it'll be both first and second semester. But then your second choice is Fundamentals of Business. Well, that class is only 1 semester. So you can put it on the first semester line of your second choice, but then you'll need to choose a different class for the second semester. And we put World Geography on here as a second choice because that's also in the 1 semester class category. Now you cannot combine Spanish and Business Management because Spanish is a year-long class, so you can't combine it with a semester class. You want to put year-long classes on one line and then semester-based classes go together. Now you also cannot put Business Management on your first choice and Business Management on your second choice. Each class can only be on your sheet once. If you put it twice, you're wasting a choice. And you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you have filled this out entirely correctly so that you get the most out of your choices. So like you can see, we have Spanish 1, 2 on the first line, Business Management and World Geography on the second line. Those are the classes I really want to take. Now choices 3 and 4, those classes are in case I don't get into my first choice. So Law and Public Safety is my third choice. If I don't get into either Spanish or Business or World Geography, then I would want Law and Public Safety. But wait, I can't combine Business and Law and Public Safety. So if I don't get into World Geography, what do? Well, my fourth choice is another 2 semester classes. So I put Auto Maintenance and Cabinet Making. So I have alternate choices for a year-long class and I have alternate choices for my 1 semester classes. So you cover all your bases, make sure that you have courses on there that you're willing to take. If you decide, I only want Spanish, I'm going to write Spanish on every option. Well, you might get into Spanish, but what else are you going to take? I get to choose for you if you don't put choices on there. And you don't necessarily want that because you'll end up in whatever's left over. So you want to make sure that you're choosing classes that you want to take. And like Mrs. Horton said earlier, you want to choose wisely. You don't want to choose what your best friend is taking. You don't want to choose based on what your girlfriend or boyfriend is choosing. You want to choose what you are interested in because you are taking the class. Now, there are a couple things that aren't on those 4 elective choices. So if we scroll back up to the top of that sheet, you're going to see a few things across the top. On here, you have your biology option, or it says allied health. So we have 2 different options for biology for next year. We have our allied health biology is a more medical, healthcare focused biology class that if you're interested in anything in the medical field, you will want to take that class. And we will want you to choose. You can write yes in that box if you want to take allied health biology. If you put no or you leave it blank, then we will know that you choose a regular biology class that is more focused on plants and other cells than our medical field. STUCO, Student Council. Student Council you'll see is not on one of these lists. It is an election class. Those elections will be coming up at the end of the school year, so you want to pay attention to that. Students in PLP are allowed to be elected into student council, so you want to make sure you pay attention to those announcements. And if you are going to be running, you want to put yes next to Stuco. Also, marching band. Marching band is a 7th class for you. So you don't necessarily want to put it in as one of your 4 choices, because you're going to have 2 electives and marching band if you choose marching band, because it's at 7 a.m. It's not part of our regular school day. So you want to mark yes if you want marching band on this sheet and not write it as one of your 4 choices down at the bottom. Also, you don't see Night Voices on here, which is our auditioned choir. And so if you chose concert choir, but you know you're going to audition for Night Voices, you'll want to mark that down on here as well. And the last one on there is musical theater. So musical theater is an audition class. So if you're interested in auditioning for that, you'll want to put that here as well. And we will have you not put that at the bottom as well. We want you to have as many choices as possible. So if you're going to audition for musical theater, mark yes at the top of this sheet, and then don't put it as one of your options down at the bottom. And we'll just move down your elective choices. So if you audition for musical theater, we're going to assume that it's your top choice, and we're going to then make your number 1 number 2. So instead of having you choose fewer classes, we're going to have you choose 4 choices that don't require an audition to get into, and then have you mark across the top one of those choices if that is one of your selections. It's really important that if you have questions, you ask about this sheet, because you want to make sure you fill it out correctly. Another thing that I didn't quite touch on is make sure your name is on it. Make sure that your full name is on it. Your name might be John Smith, but you go by Frank. I don't know who Frank Smith is. So you need to make sure that your name, your legal name, is on this sheet so that we know who you are. And also put your lunch number on there that hopefully you know as well. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask while you're filling out this sheet.
And like Ms. Robertson said, these choices at the bottom, we have you fill out 4 choices because the class placement for electives is based on seniority. So our seniors, juniors, and sophomores get to choose their electives before incoming freshmen. So for this instance, Spanish 1-2 might fill up because juniors and sophomores are taking it, so that's why then we would go to your 2nd or 3rd choice.
And I'm going to give you a tip real quick. There are a few classes that are not good alternate choices because they always fill up. So you can put it down, but it might be a wasted choice. So one of those is early childhood. Most of our students who get into early childhood, it's their 1st or 2nd choice. So if you want that class, make sure you put it as your 1st or 2nd choice. Another really popular class is our Intro to Music and Audio Tech. I'm gonna guess that nobody who has it as their 3rd or 4th choice gets placed into that class. We usually cannot place everyone who put it as their 1st and 2nd choice into that class. So make sure that if you really want that class, it's number 1 or number 2, and it's kind of a wasted choice if you put it as 3 or 4. So just keep that in mind. Another one of those classes is sometimes software and app design or stagecraft. Stagecraft is a popular class, and so is software and app design. So just make sure that you're thinking about those classes. If it's a really popular class and you know a lot of people are talking about it, don't put it as your 3rd or 4th choice because you're probably not going to get that class. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing. Also talk to your parents. It's something that they might have opinions about too, and you'll also want to note on your on this sheet that each class has a fee, and those fees could make or break that class for you. If the fee is too much for you, that might be something to think about when you're choosing your classes. We do have some fee assistance available based on year to year, but you want to go into it knowing how much it costs.
Okay, so when you fill out this form, it will be blank. So you're going to want to make sure that you fill in your name and your student ID number, and see these blanks. You need to fill all of them in, and your parent does need to approve your choices. They can fill in their signature, and again, don't forget to put yes if you are interested in any of these choices at the top. And then you would submit it as an assignment. Do not submit it blank. We will check them, and if it's blank, we will ask you to redo the assignment. So there are also some materials here to help you for questions that you might have. This assignment is due, as you see right here, on February 19th. Okay, we need that in so we can start putting you in those classes. Let's go look at this early childhood info. That's a really popular class, and it does require an application. So you need a teacher recommendation with your application. So your teacher would fill out this form. We also have paper forms for you to come grab if you need them, if you can't print this out. They want to know what your grade looks like. They want to know, are you absent a lot? What's your classroom behavior? Because you're sometimes working with preschoolers, you need to be a good role model for those students. There's also this application that you and your parents need to fill out. And it asks you to rate yourself. How comfortable are you doing these things? Because if you aren't comfortable doing any of these at all, it might not be a good fit for you. And there's this welcome letter that tells you all the requirements and some information about it. If you have specific questions, you could email the teachers or directors. And like Ms. Skemp noted, there is a required TB test. This is required for anyone working with children to always have. It's a simple test that you can get. It's painless. So if you're interested in early childhood info, talk to your parents, look through those information. Again, you can email them or email us if you have questions about that. Next, we're going to look at some audition information. We talked about some classes require auditions. So let's look at musical theater. So here's the flyer about auditions. Ms. Skemp, you want to go over this for us?
So this is music, we call it musical productions at our school, but on the elective sheet is musical theater, just so that you know they're the same. This, because of our circumstances, you're doing a virtual submission. So you're going to do a short recording, and you're going to email it to Mr. Follis, our teacher here at the high school, and he's jfollis@lhusd.org. It explains how short it needs to be, 45 seconds to a minute. It's a monologue, and I think that's something you should be familiar with. And so then once he has all the auditions, he will make a decision, and you'll be informed later in the semester. But please note it's March 8th through the 19th. And so that is some of that spring break. So you have a little extra time. You can start on that now and then submit between March 8th and the 19th. The other one for choir, our advanced choir, this one is by appointment only. So you'd probably want to contact Mrs. Suderlin at esuderlin@lhsd.org. And then you're going to perform a song for 1 minute. It's a song of your choice. And then she'll work with you on that as well.
Okay.
So Mrs. Robertson's going to talk about shirts.
All right, so you cannot wear your Thunderbolt shirts here at the high school. So you need to make sure that you order some high school shirts. You can buy shirts when you first come to school next year, but leading up to school starting, so in July, your shirts will be limited. If you order on this form, you'll be able to pre-order as many shirts as you want to buy. I would encourage you to get at least one purple shirt. We really try to do Purple Shirt Friday, and it's a big school spirit day. So, and we'll have purple and gold spirit days as well. So get those purple shirts so you can participate in those. And sometimes there's even prizes if you are wearing a purple shirt on a Friday. So it's really worth getting it. We have purple, black, white, gray, and sometimes there's gold shirts, but really most of the students wear the white, black, gray, and purple shirts. So that's up to you what colors you want. We have unisex short sleeve. We have women's cut short sleeve, which are a little closer cut. We have long sleeve shirts. We have polos. We have hooded zip up sweatshirts. Those zip up sweatshirts are the same ones that you have been wearing, so you can continue to wear those zip up sweatshirts since they're just LHUSD sweatshirts. These forms do have to be turned into the Lake Havasu High School bookstore. So you, a parent, will need to bring those in to buy your shirts. And the bookstore is located right next to the counseling office.
And like Ms. Robertson noted, this is due April 30th. If not purchased by April 30th, there will be a 2-shirt limit until school starts because we need to make sure that everybody coming in has enough shirts. So again, if you want to get a shirt for every day of the week or be prepared, you know, go ahead and pre-order. That's the smart thing to do. Make sure your parents get on top of that. Next, we're going to go over our school counselor information.
And then just to note that the bookstore does have paper copies of those order forms in case you do not have the ability to print that off. But so some of you might wonder, okay, what if I want to talk to my counselor? What if I have questions? What are counselors here for? So first thing we want to do, obviously we introduced ourselves already, but here at the high school, you will keep the same counselor for all 4 years. We're broken down by last name. And we have our email addresses and phone numbers listed here for you guys. If you have questions, go ahead and send us an email, give us a call. We are happy to answer questions for you guys. Lake Havasu High School counselors are available to students and to parents for academic counseling, personal counseling, social emotional issues, career guidance, conflict resolution. If you have a crisis, we are available to help you through that. And then also referrals to community services if we cannot help you or provide resources here in our office. We right now are assisting students in different methods, individually in person. We also do classroom lessons. This last year has been virtual, but hopefully next year we will see you all in classrooms. And then also small groups. A couple save the date sections, freshman kickoff. We are planning for July 23rd. Our open house is usually the week prior to school starting. We do not have a date on that yet, but keep your eyes and ears open. It's usually from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. where you can come in, meet all your teachers, see where your classes are, all that good stuff. The freshman kickoff, it's just for freshmen. You're with your freshman mentors. You get a tour of the school, get to see where your locker is, really have a great kickoff basically to your freshman year. And then also very first day of school, Monday, August 2nd. So go ahead and get your calendars out and jot all that information down.
And again, this is in that Google Classroom, so you can access it, print it out, whatever you need.
Yeah. And then band classes, let's see. So our band information, marching band, like we talked about, that's for our fall semester. This is also the pep band. They will have weekly classes, 7 a.m. Daily and Tuesday night practices. Tentative summer band camp is July 12th through the 23rd.
Yeah, so this sheet goes over the different more specifics of each class than is on the elective sheet. So if you're interested in any band classes, access this material in the Google Classroom before selecting it, so you make sure you select the class you are interested in. It tells you who they perform with, how long the class is, what instruments are involved. So make sure you access this if you have questions. So we're going to head back to our presentation. This is all in your Google Classroom for you to access at your convenience. And again, your elective requests are due February 19th. So you've got about 11 days to get that done.
And then we're also going to ask that you complete that form whether you're unsure of returning or not. It's better to be careful and have it completed just in case your plans do change. At least we have what your top choices are. So then we're going to jump into, what does your schedule look like? Okay, so all freshmen will have 6 classes. If you are selecting marching band, then you would have 7. That would be, your 7th would be a 7 a.m. Your 4 core classes, every freshman has to have PE. We all have English, a math class, and a science class. So please note that your core class placement will be determined by staff. And when you receive your schedule in the summer, you'll get to see what classes that you actually received. But in addition to your 4 core classes, you will receive 2 electives. And again, we just went through selecting those electives, giving us your backup plans. And again, we cannot ensure that your top 1 and 2 choices will be exactly what you receive, but we do our best, the best that we can. There will be another class listed on your schedule, and it looks like it is a 9th period class. However, we do not have 9 periods. That 9th period class is our nighttime class. And again, it's night with a K. And we are essentially, will be the class of 2025. So you will be grouped by your last name. You will have, ideally keep the same teacher for all 4 years that you're here at the high school. And then you'll also be with that same group of students all 4 years. They'll also be the people that you sit next to at graduation. So nighttime is a great class. It's not something you go to every day. It's typically about once or twice a month. And each grade level, we have a different focus. So freshman year, you're really getting involved in school. What does it require? You know, how do you be successful? How can you be successful? All kinds of extra information that we can't just teach you in your core classes. And then next up we have Miss Skeff. Oh, nope, maybe me. Still, I can keep going. Last day to make schedule changes will be Friday, July 23rd. So your schedules will be mailed in July. If you do not receive your schedule in July, you will want to either call the counseling office, or you'll want to come down during registration to remedy any situations, whether it was a fee or anything like that. But your schedules will be mailed if we have all of your information in time. Students are asked to choose alternate elective choices at pre-registration. Again, like we said, we cannot guarantee the class availability. When you do receive your schedule and it's not an elective that you are interested in, you can request to have your schedule changed. And so we will not allow schedule changes based on a specific teacher or a specific period request or a specific lunch. Lunch will be determined on the first day of school. Oftentimes, as counselors and even staff, we don't know what the lunch schedule is until the first day. But you do have until July 23rd to put in that request, and there will be information in your summer packet on how to request schedule changes or fix any type of holds that you might have on your account. Summer school, I think this is Ms. Skemp now.
Thank you, Ms. Ainsworth. I just want to go over PE. A lot of questions we get is, what can I wear? What do I have to wear during PE? So we don't have a standardized uniform for PE. You do need to wear tennis shoes, change out of your school shirt and school outfit that you're wearing for the day, but it can be just any shirt that you wear. We ask that it be appropriate, of course, and then shorts or sweatpants, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now, summer school, You might be wondering, well, I want to take summer school, or what do we offer? So traditionally, we offer an Algebra 1-2 for our incoming 9th graders, and it's traditionally 4 weeks long. And at this time, we don't have any summer school dates or if there will be a cost. As we get closer to the end of the year, we will be sending out that information to you and your parents. And then SMART is something that's been popular over the last umpteen years here at the high school. That stands for Summer Math, Algebra Readiness, and Transition. Some of you might be thinking, more math? This is actually an elective credit. They do go over to get you prep on algebra or review your algebra, but they also spend time to help you transition into the high school. This is used, they'll go make sure you have your schedule, you'll have your lockers, they help talk about the little ins and outs about Lake Havasu High School. This usually lasts 3 weeks, and again, there'll be more details on how to sign up for summer school, whether it's the math or the SMART program later in the semester. I believe next, Mrs. Robertson is going to talk to you about a day in the life at Lake Havasu.
All right, so this is based on a traditional schedule, which could happen next year. We don't know. But this, we're going to give you what traditionally you would have. So you would come to school. School would start at 8 o'clock, and we get out at 2:30. Be on time. You want to make sure that you are in your class, in your seat at 8 o'clock, not walking into the building at 8 o'clock. You'll have 6 classes like we've talked about, 55 minutes long, 5 minutes between each class. You get 25 to 30 minutes for lunch. That includes passing periods. And lunches could be with 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders. You're all mixed in together. So you could be with anyone. School ends at 2:30, but teachers are available from 2:30 to 3 o'clock for some extra help, especially Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Those days are generally allocated for office hours and some teachers providing some extra help in any of your classes. You're used to it now, the cell hotel. We use them here at the high school too. You want to make sure that you are putting your phone in the cell hotel so that you're not tempted to be distracted during class. Some of your classes might be with all 9th graders, your freshman English class, your 9th grade PE class. Those be almost entirely 9th graders, but there may be an older student in there. And then your electives. Those electives are available for 9th through 12th graders, so those classes are mixed. And you might have other classes that have older students in them as well. You'll make new friends. And like I touched on before, there are different lunches, 3 different lunches, and those are mixed, generally based on your 4th period class. So if you get your schedule and you and your best friend both have an English class, 4th period, you know you're going to be in the same lunch together. But if you have an English and a math class, you might have lunch together, you might not. We do lunches based on subject. So if you have the same subject as your friend, you might have the same, you'll have the same lunch. We do put more than one subject in each lunch, but we don't know what will be together or which subjects will have which lunch until the first day of school.
Looking forward, so lockers will be assigned to you, and that will be on your schedule that you receive in the mail in July. It'll tell you your locker number. We have lockers in most of the hallways. You do not get to request a locker change so that you can be by your best friend or things like that. You do not have to use your locker. It's up to you. There's plenty of time in the 5 minutes between classes to go to your locker, things like that. You can take your backpack to class. So if you are given books, you might need a book for biology, but not for math. So you want to go by your locker and put that in so you're not carrying it around in your backpack, if that is allowed. Again, your backpacks are allowed to take to class. You do take your cell phone out of it and put it in the cell hotel when you arrive to class. Talking about credits, you are required to have 23 credits to graduate high school. Each year we put you in about 6 credits with only 5 your senior year. If you take summer school to get ahead in credits, you know, that can change a little bit. Also pay attention that you need to pass a class to earn that credit. So if you fail a class with a D or an F, you might need to retake that to get credit, which is going to mean you have to take more classes. So do your best to study, stay on top of homework, ask your teachers for help, and really do your best. Looking forward, sophomore, junior, senior years, we do offer dual enrollment classes that give you high school and college credit at the same time, or AP classes, which have an advanced placement test. So you're learning college level material, and if you pass the test at the end of the school year, then you can also earn college credit for the class that you've taken. You need to start thinking about college, what you're going to do after high school now. Maybe you know what you want to do. You want to go to college and pursue nursing. Maybe you have no idea. High school is the time to explore that. Explore different electives. There are lots of different CTE career pathways that could help you figure out what you're good at, what you're interested in. You know, if you aren't sure if you want to go to college, it's still a good idea to take the 2 years of foreign language in case you decide to go that route. If you for sure never plan on going to college, then you don't have to sign up for those electives. You could pursue other pathways, but you need to start thinking about that now so that you're not stuck junior or senior year, oh no, I'm missing these credits. And our job as counselors is to help you with that, making sure that you're getting the credits you need each year as we sign up for classes and things like that. If you have questions about electives or career pathways or anything, you can email us, but don't stress. You can start thinking about them now and exploring, but it's not a time to stress or worry about it yet. And you'll likely change your mind multiple times, and that's okay. So here is the breakdown of the credits, which are the graduation requirements. So you need 4 years of English. You'll take an English every year, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, and for college it needs to be 3 lab sciences. 1 year of PE, you'll get that knocked out freshman year. If you take sports fitness or weight training or things like that, those would be electives. 3 years of social studies, you'll start that your sophomore year. You only need 1 CTE or fine art credit, 1 full year, but you can take as many as you want, and 7 elective credits, and that's spread out over all 4 years. So again, there's some notes at the bottom. If you are college bound, your 4th year of math needs to be pre-calculus or a dual enrollment math class. Like I stated, if you're college bound, you need 3 years of lab sciences. If you're college bound and you want to go out of state, your credit needs to be a fine art, not a career and technical education. That could be an elective, but you have to have that 1 fine art, which would be choir, band, acting, art. And again, if you plan to go to college or are thinking about it, those 2 years of foreign language. And here we only offer Spanish. So some notes. Ms. Presley with the PLP will be conducting a follow-up session to this to address any of your questions or concerns. And we are all looking forward to getting to know you. So again, here is our information. If you have any specific questions, you can email us. We're excited to meet you and get to know you and happy to help.